All right, guys, happy hump day and welcome to Wayne's World Garage. Today, we're cutting boards for the Boy Scouts. So we've got three nice logs on there. They're poplar logs. This is the smallest one, the first one, but the second one's pretty good size. The third one's even bigger. These are logs that Phil, Alan, and I dragged out of the woods and transported to the farm to cut these logs up. They need 65 boards, 1 inch thick, what would be 4x4, about 6 inches wide. So one of the things we're finally figuring out here is we take the first slice off the wood and we get a flat side on the log, and then we try and put that side on the bottom of the carriage, which is like the knee assembly. This way we'll keep our cants when we make them perfectly square and at 90 degrees. This is working out pretty well. It takes a little bit more effort because we've got to roll these logs, 270 degrees, okay, in order to get the flat sides on the bottom. But we end up with really nice looking lumber. So here you are, you can't really see this, but the bottom side of this log is already flattened off. And now we're squaring off the second side. All right, so we got two sides flat. Now we're going to roll it a little bit more so we can flatten off the third side. And as you can see here, once we roll this guy here, we'll have a flat side on the bottom and a flat side on the back of the knee. And this works out really well. So we'll push this back up against the knees, slice it off, and be ready to rock and roll.
Bill. Do one more and put it back here. What do you think? Yeah. Might be too much. I gotta adjust the pins too. Too big? I'm just gonna run it. Got it? Go ahead. Let me push it back a little bit more. Here, you got it? Sorry, here you go.
All right, well now we're going to be squaring off the fourth side of this log, and then we'll have a nice cant. After that, we're going to cut it in half, and then we'll start making some 2x6s. 1x6s, I mean, for the Boy Scouts.
Crank out some boards. Yeah, boards. Yeah, lay her down and, yep. Freezing his pie. Good, good. Good. So let's shave this and then get cranking some 1-bys for these boys.
So what I'm doing here is just trying to shave off a little bit of the side of this cant to make sure it's perfectly rectangular and square before we start cranking out boards. And the way I should have it set on the set works, that's that lever I'm pulling forward, is when I pull it forward, I want to get 1-inch boards. The first one's not quite right, so I've got to adjust it. Additionally, as you can see, we've got 2 cants we made. What I should have done is put one on top of the other. Watch the rest of the video and you'll see how we do the second and third log. It gets a little bit quicker.
There's that nice board. All right, now we're all set up. There we go, clear. I'm making boards now. I don't know if they can hear me or not, but we'll see.
So we did take your advice, and we will stack cants on top of each other, but we ended up with 3 cants out of this log. And the first one I'm just going to run by itself, and then the next time we run it, I'll stack 1 cant on top of the other. And then things will go so much faster. And that's kind of what we're trying to get done here, is just see how efficient we can go.
This way or that way? Good? Let's see how it looks, right? Come towards me a little bit with it. Are you all right?
More back. You can even go back.
Back more? Oh, you gotta pull it in. Pull it in. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. There you go. Keep going. Keep going a little bit more. Okay, he's not hitting yet.
Yeah, but we're gonna have to back it off anyway.
Okay. All right. Link right here. We all right?
Yeah, I'm hitting down here.
Okay. All right, well, let's start squaring this bad boy up. Yep, I gotta back it off.
All right, so this is poplar log number 2, 8.5 foot long, 8 foot 6 inches anyway. And we're going to make more of these 1-inch boards, maybe 6 inches wide or something like that. But we're set up for that now, so it'll go pretty quickly. And as you'll see, we smarten up here finally a little bit. And then we put one cant on top of the other, and then we can crank up boards even quicker.
Good, good. All right, let's start squaring up log number 2. Get one more cut. Yeah, do not come through. See what we do here.
So this is log number 2, and we're squaring off side number 2, and this will go pretty quickly. So I'm going to speed this up a little bit while we make this next cant. This is a pretty good sized log. Sadly, as you can see, I had to drag it out of the woods part way to get it to where we can move it. So it's got some mud on it. Couldn't find anybody to wash it off with a toothbrush for us, but it still cuts pretty well. It's a little bit rough on the saw. But this is what it takes to square up this guy. And you can see we've got a nice sized cant when we're done. So we're in pretty good shape here. We're going to cut this in 3 pieces, 2 or 3 pieces, and then we're making a whole bunch more boards really fast.
That's Boy Scouts. It's Boy Scouts good, I think. All right, so here's cant number 1 of the second log.
So when I do this right, this cant, which is probably 20 inches by 5 or 6 inches and 8.5 foot long, see how it just drops right at the end there? The idea is as soon as it drops is pull it back so it doesn't fall off. I screwed it up once and we had to push it back. My bad. But that's what the goal is. And now the guys can easily, just pull it off and get it ready to make boards out of. All right, so I promised I'd stack one cant on top of the other so we could make 2 boards at a time. But since I ended up with 3, one of the cants I've got to do alone. So I'm doing the first one just by itself. And then Matt, Alan, and myself will stack these guys up. And then we'll show you how that works. And that actually works pretty well. Well, sadly, my one GoPro stopped GoProing and didn't record, where I get a little bit better picture of this. But here we are, and these cants aren't too heavy. It's poplar. So Alan and myself, and I think Matt helped a little bit, we put these on the carriage, and you kind of barely see it a little bit all the way to the right when we get these guys on here. But then we cut in 2 boards at a time, so we'll keep the guys busy doing the offload.
All right. Yeah, got it. Track down. 2 of these on here. Square this off and make some 2x4s. Get some juice here, Al. Smarter.
So this first slice through is just a skim slice, just to make sure my cants are perfectly square and perpendicular and 90 degrees and all that stuff. And actually the saw is cutting extraordinarily well. These are like paper thin, and they're the same thickness at both ends, top and bottom. That's exactly what we want. How nice is that?
2 of these at once.
So now we're cranking, and we're making 2 boards on each push of these cants because we stacked one on top of the other. That's what we should have done in the first place. Wonder if we could have put the third one on it too. Not with this blade, maybe with a 56-inch blade. Although this is a softwood, it's poplar, it's not very strong. But I'll tell you what, it's still taking quite a lot of horsepower to go this quick. Not as quick as I was going when I was doing just one of these cants, but this takes a little bit more effort.
I'm worried about them going like this. One more? Yeah, no, I think one more. We'll do one more. I just worry about it flopping out on me, you know? What do you think? You know what?
2x4.
Okay.
On the other side.
Yep. All right, we'll get 2x4s. Hang on 1 second here. Make sure I got juice going here. About out. Doing something. Nope. I don't know. Maybe a couple 2x4s out of it. Ready, you guys? Okay, well that doesn't make a difference, Pete. Okay, so you may wonder what the heck we're doing here. Well, it turns out with one cant on top of the other, okay, that we have the possibility of them like collapsing, you know, kind of like a tall building. And part of the reason is that our head blocks are ½ inch shorter than what they're supposed to be. So what happens is there's not as much head block holding on to the bottom of the cant, so it can kind of flop out on us. So we got to be a little bit careful there. I wouldn't want that to happen with this blade turning at 600 RPM, because it'd probably come flying back and hit me in the nose or something. Well, let's see how it goes. You want to do one at a time? Yeah. Let's do that. Want to do one at a time?
All right.
I don't know what we want out of this, you know.
You gotta back it up.
Yeah.
No.
Let's, you know what though? Let's just, what are we doing with this? Let's just put it,
Back on it?
no, let's send it down there. Just send it down there. I don't think it's worth dealing with it. Put it on. Yeah, give it to them. It's there. There? There. Firewood. Firewood. Okay? All right, I don't know if this is going to work, but here are these 3 logs we got. And we got 2 nice stacks of wood. Look at this. There's a lot of boards here out of these 3 logs. And these are logs that Phil Allen and I dragged off of our property a couple years earlier this year. We dominoes with the trees, and look at what we got. This is nice. I don't know how many we have here, but it looks to be 6, 4, 5, 6, 7. I bet you they got every bit of 60 boards here for the Boy Scouts. We'll see. So check this out. Now we've got most of our logs labeled. Cherry, white oak, honey locust, elm, more cherry to the right. So what we're doing is we're keeping the nice logs under cover. And some elm. Did I say elm already? Got elm down here. Need one more cherry label. Cherry. Wonderful. This is looking good here. We're getting organized.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching this. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you want to see a video of us cutting up that third log, let me know. We're happy to put it on there. But we're already into this for half an hour, and I assume most of you are already asleep. Anyway, hit the subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Take care, and you all have a great day.